starters orders the UCI Cross Country Olympic World Cup for the elite women. And they are going Araxa, Brazil. Jackson goes hard left into the crowd.
Whoa, it's a big one.
Sevilla Blum takes the lead away from Jenny Risfitz. You cannot take your eyes off this one. Maxwell looking absolutely superb here. Samara Maxwell wins in Araxa. And they are off. Specialized Factory Racing flying information out from Victor Koretsky. Has attacked his teammate on lap 8 out of 9. Like Evel Knievel over a load of buses. Victor Koretsky does the job. Specialized Factory Racing do the triple. Cross-country mountain biking at its very best. Round 2 of the UCI Cross Country Olympic World Cup for the elite men inbound. We are back in Araxa in the Minas Gerais region of Brazil on a very, very different racetrack than what they faced last time out. There is the city of Araxa in the distance. Fresh and well it's looking. On what promises to be an absolutely superb final race of the day here. 28 degrees Celsius, temperatures sneaking back up as the humidity decreases slightly from what we saw at the start of the day. Riders forming up on the start line. Specialized Factory Racing, there's Christopher Blevins, were so dominant last time out. And we got them all together. This is goosebumps stuff as Christopher Blevins goes on the hunt of his teammate Victor Koretsky. They've been inseparable all race long.
So, last lap, when I went through the start-finish and was like trying not to cramp, Victor was 10 seconds ahead of me. And I saw on the number board, 3rd Adrian, 4th you, or vice versa. I just did a double take and shook my head and started like laughing. And then I went by Mike later, like right at the end, and he's like, 40 seconds to Martin in 3rd. And I like smiled at him, and he's like, stop smiling, go. So that was a great last lap for me.
Like I celebrate the win, and then also celebrate the second place of Chris.
For me, I just wanted the race to end, you know. We came to the last lap, and we were all the laps just fighting with this 10 group guys. And when I just hear Mike saying on the last lap, now, go, all in, go. I said like, I need to go, I need to finish this jump. And yeah, they couldn't cut me, so when I crossed, I just, couldn't believe what we did.
I was jumping like a little kid when you crossed.
Yes, yeah.
It's cool to see all the people with Specialized, the company, like all stoked, and it made more of an impact, I think, for them to realize, like, oh yeah, all that work, you know, really went into us doing this. We had the first 5 from the Red Bull section were on Specialized bikes, so that says more about how good the bike is compared to how fast we are. I think it's really cool that we can battle for a win, but also know that like we celebrate the second, you know, in your teammate. So we're going to be happy for each other and push each other and celebrate what we're doing together as a teammates, you know?
It's just a good fight, and the goal was not to finish on the ground. It was just to fight each other.
The fact that we're even talking about team tactics in mountain biking is kind of a shift in the sport that is really exciting, and I hope that continues in mountain biking because it makes it more exciting.
I think we are racers. We want to win all the races, and that's why we are on the best team in the world.
The best team in the world. They're not lying either. Specialized Factory Racing lead the way in the team's overall battle. Let's have a look at this revamped Araxa course. So the start finish is the same along this flat section at the lake, and then it punches up and it keeps on going up. There's a little reprieve, but overall the big theme of the first half of the lap is up, up, up. After that it swings down through some descents which are kind of straighter in nature, but full chat nevertheless. Rounds that little lake to finish before heading back on the start finish line. Don't take my word for it though. Here's the big man.
For this week's Carlson on Course, I have the absolute privilege of riding the fastest bike in the world right now, Victor Koretsky's custom S-Works Epic 8. I cannot wait.
Give me my bike, I need to go on the track.
I knew it was too good to be true. Regardless, I've got my own specialised Epic here. We're gonna go check out the course. It's a bit different, but all the things we know and love. This weekend, it's going to be much more of a physical battle than the technical nature of last week. This section here is almost at the top of our climb. It's a brand new little bit. Now what is interesting about this is that it pinches into this single file section. Now it's quite chunky. The light changes a lot. If you put in a move at the top of the climb here, you can start to accordion and stretch that field out. Now follow me around the corner here. This is so important because it comes into this next section. Look at this. You must pick your line here to make sure you get all the way up this next technical climb. Now this was the start of our descent from round 1. Now it is a climb all the way up. Massive key part of this lap. The toughest part of the climb, this may be the most technical. There's plenty of line options, which will all be based on fatigue levels. We're now at the highest part of our course, the longest climb to get here. This was our most technical climb. Now it is our most technical descent. You come in here, you've got a big highline option down this bridge, around the outside on the rocks, and you have to make a choice. You either sit in and recover and rest, or you jump this bad boy and send it all the way to the finish line, because now we start our descent all the way home. High speed, technical, and chunky. Bye up. Woo-hoo-hoo. Oh yeah. As we come up the climb from our last week's course, now we come at this with way more speed. Now this opens up beeline. There's less risk for rocks. There's more speed to exit with. It changes the game of this little rock garden into the famous Supercross section. Wow. Well, as they say, what goes up must come down, and the course here for Araxa round 2 is exactly that. A super long physical climb and one of the highest speeds and longest descents we've seen in a very long time. We can't wait to see the action. We'll see you trackside.
There's everything you need to know from Araxa. New look course here. Josh Carlson suitably impressed. Well, one man who's been enjoying himself in Brazil, Victor Koretsky, Specialized Factory Racing. He's down there now.
Victor, it was an epic race for Specialized last week in the XCO. What can we expect from you lot today?
I don't know. I just watched all the race today, and it was quite interesting. We saw a lot of different races, and yeah, for sure, if you're strong today, it's a tough track compared to last week with a longer uphill. So I think we can go like last week, but I think it's going to be more difficult because of the heat, and also like 10 laps, 10 times this uphill could be difficult. So yeah, I think we will see who is like in good shape today, or who are in good shape, and just maybe follow on the first part of the race.
Good luck out there.
Thank you.
111 on the Whoop Live, on the rollers for Victor Koretsky. Barely turning over just yet. Lukas Schwarzbar drenched already, trying to get himself as cool as possible. Big German, not a big fan of the heat. Christopher Blevins, ice vest equipped. as we get ready to get the world's fastest riders onto the front row of the grid here at the second round of the UCI Cross Country Olympic World Cup in Araxa, Brazil. Thomas Lichter from Switzerland will lead them on, having finished 8th in the short track yesterday afternoon. Experienced Swiss start. Luca Schwarzbauer. Heat isn't his thing necessarily, but racing definitely is. Canyon Collective's resident big German. I fancy taking a bite out of this one today. Signs of the Schwarzbauer of old in the short track yesterday. And we'll fancy heading towards Novo Mesto with a good result in his back pocket. Simon Andreasen has won here in the past. Will have a good go at making it 2 wins in Araxa. Orbea's newly signed Mercurial Dane. Andreasen takes the front row in his ice vest. Luca Braido, 5th in the short track yesterday for Willie Vittoria, the big Italian national champion. They've had a good day so far, Willie Vittoria. Can they get a podium or even more out of the elite men's race? Next up, Carter Woods set the short track race on fire late in the day yesterday. Only out-sprinted by none other than Nino Schurter. Woods heads to the front row. The big Canadian starting for the first time on the front row of a UCI cross-country Olympic elite race. His 21st season of UCI World Cup racing, Nino Schurter takes to the front row. Schurter was superb in the short track yesterday. Will fancy another bite off the cherry today. Victor Koretsky for Specialized Factory Racing, part of the dynamic duo that rode themselves into the history books last weekend. Koretsky, UCI World Cup overall points leader, of course, in that red jersey. Christopher Blevins, not far behind him. Specialized Factory Racing won the short track and will be the last rider on to the front row. Well, the last rider into this booth, Ollie Beckinsale, and an intriguing elite women's race. Wow. Do you think we're into more of the same here in the elite men's, or will this one be a bit more, let's say, fireworks from the get-go?
That women's race was so tough. Long race, hot race, just been on the grid, and it is boiling out there.
I can feel the heat coming off you, actually. Blevins, Koretsky, Schurter, Woods in there, Brandl, Vidauri, shuffled back in the pack slightly. Lilo, Kalel Estap, Zanotti, Boischi, what can he do today? A track that will suit the Frenchman beautifully. Forster, De Foimont, Flukiger, Saru. Plenty of firepower further back. No Matisse Azaro today, after that crash last weekend. But we're getting ready to go. Round 2. In Araxa, it's time to answer some questions. They are about to go under the starters' orders. The lights will turn red, then they will wait for the gun here. Round 2 of the UCI Cross Country Olympic World Cup in Araxa, Brazil. The lights turn green and they are off and racing in Araxa. And it's Christopher Blevins in the red jersey of Specialized Factory Racing who leads them away off the line. Everybody off the line cleanly compared to last week, Ollie.
Good start by Luca Schwarzbauer and Thomas Lichter as well on that inside. Yeah, Schwarzbauer having a great short track. We see him there on the canyon bike, the German champ.
There's Blevins side by side with Luca Schwarzbauer. Carter Woods right up there in the blue and white jersey of Giant Factory Off-Road Racing as well.
It's going to be fast to this first climb. Different course than last week. We do the short track climb first, and then we keep on climbing.
Look at
be in the top 10 for sure.
The multi-line section being absolutely decimated. 3 or 4 riders wide through the start of it as they battle for 2 lines over that rise.
This is a tense time if you're mid-pack.
Blevins leads them.
Badari as well, good start, just coming up the outside. Lukawashi just a bit far back with Riley.
Blevins, you can see the red number 1 behind him though, and that belongs to his teammate Victor Koretsky, and the rest of the pro pack will be wary of letting these 2 out front. Carter Woods on the left-hand side, best the rest. Nino Schurter, not for the first time this weekend, alongside him in the black and white of Scott Schramm MTB Racing.
That alarm bells will be going off. Specialised 1-2, we saw him last week.
Look at this.
Absolutely blasted this first lap and set the race. Nino's not going to have it.
Nino Schurter, one of the key takeaways from last week was that if it wasn't for a puncture that we saw off camera, Schurter's lap times were bang on those of Koretsky and Blevins.
Watch Badari coming up the outside.
Yep, they'll need their tail gunner if they want to make this tactic work again. There's Lars Forster in the red jersey and the Red Bull helmet through your shot now.
One of my favourites, Lars Forster, but a poor short track. He's going to have to get a wiggle on this first lap.
Here we go. Blevins, Koretsky, Schurter. Vadari has made his way through the traffic and is now moving up onto the shoulder of Thomas Litcher.
3 Specialised in the front 4. I say Nino's wise to it. We knew last week that he had the speed. If it wasn't for that flat tyre, he would have been well in the mix. And even with that flat tyre, he was in the mix. He's just in amazing shape.
And he had a really good rattle at that short track, didn't he, last night? Sometimes he can treat those races as kind of just qualifying anywhere inside the top 8 and he's happy. But yesterday, he really, really went toe-to-toe with Carter Woods.
And this is going to be a long, hot race. Nino likes long, hot races.
He does indeed.
And he's coming out of that Cape Epic stage race as well, so he's got the endurance.
Yeah, you can see Blevins just has that snap. We often talk about that BMX racing background, so crucial through the jump sections, but it gets him off the line pretty sharpish as well.
And we see this start-finish. There's a little kink, so the riders on the right are going to get squeezed.
Here we go into this little reprise of a descent before the course kicks up again. Ollie, tell us your read on how different a track here we have.
Yeah, I would say it's flipped slightly the other way. It's more physical, slightly less technical. It's faster on the way down, and there's more kind of easier flow sections. But we've got Specialised 1, 2, 3. We've got a technical kick up through here, another technical kick in a second.
Nino Schurter just being distanced slightly through there. He's coming under the attentions of Lukas Schwarzbauer now. Great to see Schwarzbauer back at the front of a short track yesterday as well.
Yeah, really good. He's having a good start to this race as well, sitting in that top 10. Adrian Boischi, the 4th Specialised rider, coming through too.
Boischi was named by all 3 other elite male Specialised Factory Racing riders as comfortably the most competitive member of that team, which I think speaks volumes.
And coming into this race, mixing up road and mountain bike this season, coming this race with road stage race wins, and some of those coming on mountain stages, so he's got the climbing form too.
And you have to say, if you had to design a cross-country Olympic distance course for Adrian Boischi, this would be right up there. So it's Koretsky in 2nd place, Vadari in 3rd. Where have we heard that before? Whoa, big double there.
Luca Martin moving well as well.
Had to pull like a dog to get over that one, but made it work.
But Specialised 1, 2, 3. Can't let those guys get away. Like we saw last week, there was some team tactics in play. You don't want to let these guys get the wheel go. You see Chris Blevins, big A-line. And it's nasty. It looks, you've got a little rock lip as you come in. You've got to jump the gap, land on the bridge. And it's from this angle, right, it's relatively easy, but, you know, the entry coming into it is nasty.
And when you have that many riders around you as well, I mean, where have we seen that 1, 2, 3 in the past? We only have to go back 6 days where these front 2 Specialised riders rode off in the distance. Vadari was the rear gunner.
But the danger we had last week, it's exactly the same. The gap they had here last week, those front 2, wasn't, we looked at it in the pre-show and analysed it, it wasn't very big. But what happened was they hit the start-finish and then the gap went. Everyone looked at each other and the front 2 were able to work together. And at the moment, there's a really good chance of a repeat of that.
Huge, huge chance of a repeat of that. Blevins in front at the minute. So, bottles of water being fired over the riders here as temperatures approach 30 degrees Celsius in Araxa. So that tech zone normally just for technical assistance, but in light of the heat and the humidity today, riders are allowed to take bottles in it, and that's going to be a key part of this race, Ollie.
It's all about keeping that core body temperature down into a manageable level. If it gets too hot, you'll literally grind to a halt. The riders we heard having ice baths pre-warm-up to try and start the day with the core body temperature as low as possible, knowing it's going to go up through the roof.
Bashi in 8th place currently.
Thomas Licher as well, 4th place at the moment. Great short track, but backing it up in the XC as well.
There's Filippo Colombo, Luca Martin as well. The Elite Year debut, Cannondale Factory Racing. Phil Dixon, Cannondale Factory Racing coach, reckons he's got a real find on his hand with Luca Martin. We said it in the short track yesterday, he calls him the French dynamite. You never know what you're going to get, but it's explosive. And having interviewed him this week, he's definitely got a touch of that about him. He's definitely frenetic, like Vidari. The eyes are going the whole time. He's just got energy to burn, the young Frenchman.
Filippo Colombo as well, the Swiss champ. They're just coming through over the doubles now. We talked about riders with big engines in the pre-show. Me and Henry were having a chat about it, and what we mean by that one is more of a diesel engine. You know, they're a big 3-litre Merc, and they can just grind it out all day.
Look at this route section here. Absolutely. Oh. Avendetto going straight on, and then just that mistake getting knocked on behind him. Look, everyone now, look how far back. It's like a pile-up on the motorway, it stretches.
I know a lot of the footage, obviously we've got to focus on the front of the race, but you get this kind of 20 to 40 scrap in a World Cup, and it's just really messy. It's such a horrible place to be, and I know I've spent most of my career, but it's that really messy bit in the middle, and you're scrapping. You make a mistake, 5 guys dive bomb you. It's a real scrap.
Yeah, absolutely. All to play for. Really, really deep. Early stage of this one, 10 laps the journey. Huge, huge race given these conditions as well. You can see more water, more ice going on.
And if we break it down, the climb's roughly 4 minutes. So we're going to do 10 4-minute efforts. So if anyone's done a set of intervals in their life, try doing 10 4-minute VO2 maxes.
Absolutely horrific scenes. As they come across the line then, this is going to be a battle of attrition. The war is waging, and it's Specialized Factory Racing out front. This time it's Vidari who leads them across the line.
Different to last week. They haven't managed to pull away a gap the first week, so it's going to end up being about looking like 10 or 12 riders to make this front group.
And this is going to be fascinating, because all of a sudden Vidari is involved in the conversation much earlier. Look, we've seen so much of this early doors as well. Groups of riders, none of them wanting to take it on, all getting caught up, waiting for somebody to try and push on, and that allows the gaps to build. I'm just wondering as well, Luca Martin last in this group of riders, but in the other races today we have seen younger riders make their presence felt at the front.
4 Specialized, front 5.
It's not bad.
Hang on tight.
Hang on tight. The other rider in the mix is Lucas Schwartzbar from the Canyon Collective. Then it's Nino Schurter.
Adrian Boischi has moved up to second place at the moment. Number 70 on his back, had to come back from a lower position on the start.
And look at all the red at the front of the leaderboard off the fastest laps of lap 1s. All 3 Specialized riders in front, clocking 8:06s.
1, 2, 3, 4 now. There's Bauer coming in 5th place, doing a cracking ride so far. So Luca Martin, Luca Brido. That's that front group. Brido just that second group at the moment, 17 seconds in arrears. So there's some big hitters in that second group. Andreas and Riley Amos having a good first lap. A little further back, Matthias Flukiger, Jordan Saru, Sherman's Brandl.
Riley Amos had a bit of a nightmare last week, DNF'd the first round of cross-country Olympic, and that is
Nino just drifting back a little bit.
In trouble at the back of this group.
Like I say, fast first lap.
183 plays, 165. Look who's working harder, Christopher Blevins. That Whoop Live graphic. Blevins in the red zone, zone 5. Imagine that like a fuel tank, as we always say. And Vidari now. It's Colombo who's on the front.
Colombo. said about the riders with the horsepower. Filippo Colombo, Nino Schurter, the Cape Epic stage race we've mentioned before. That's a pairs event, and he was his partner there, so he's got the endurance.
There's a couple of big old V8s at the front of this one.
But the pace is electric on that first lap.
And I'm proud to say, joining us in the booth, one of Araxa's busiest men, Henrik Avancini, and this is it, Henrik, isn't it? This is all the play for at the front of this one. Specialised, trying to do what they did so well last week, but not quite having it their own way. Charlie Aldridge just going for the shot there. Lars Forster also in pain, but look at Colombo chancing everything into this descent.
Very intense start of this race. Again, a strong and proactive approach by the Specialized riders, but not able to pull away. Nino with a little bit of a gap now to the leading group.
Maybe an experience coming in, just saying, actually, it's so hot today and this pace may be a little bit too hot. It's hard to tell yet whether it's just pure, you know, a bad day or a clever day.
Well, he looked really, really good in the short track yesterday. We know that he's been very vocal about his goals for this season really being that midpoint UCI World Championships in Switzerland, and there's a UCI World Cup in Switzerland as well. So maybe, as you say, Ollie, just getting back on a comfortable lap delta.
Thomas Licher looking really good. He struggled with some issues early in the season with team transfers. He signed a contract, the team folded before the season. So it's really good to see him in the front of the race.
Well, the rear axle of cross-country race bikes has been getting wider for a couple of years now, but Martin Vidari just squeaked his past that rock and no more.
We talked about this course changing a little bit and becoming a bit more physical and a bit less technical, as I see a massive double, but more in favour of Colombo this week than last week. We talked in the pre-show about this big engine. We put Colombo down as one of those guys.
Exactly, especially coming out from...
Trouble for the race leader, Filippo Colombo, off and tangled up, and that is that little flat corner that we've seen cause havoc throughout practice. Colombo back on the bike, monsters his way through the roots. Didn't lose too much time, but lost a lot of positions, Ollie.
Yeah, we saw a couple of U23 women just slap off on that corner, and it's just off camber, and these riders coming in hot. You wouldn't even call it a technical section, but it's a speed section. Yeah, and those are the ones that are going to catch riders out today. So for Filippo Colombo, just settling into the front of the race, he's now on the back foot.
Is it another flat tyre for Nino Schurter? He seems to be moving, circulating slower than we would have expected to out there. I wonder if he's just pinched a tyre somewhere, maybe squeezed a little bit of air out of it, Henrik.
It could be. He lost a position without any reason. Could be something.
Look who's in front now, Adrien Boischet, and we said this will suit him. I saw him in the hotel reception the other day, and he was visibly sort of upset not to have been at the front of the race along with his three teammates. Keen to make a point in this one, perhaps, Boischet, and this course will suit him, as we said, Ollie.
Yeah, he's one of the slighter riders, and I think when it comes to those real steep, consistent long climbs, that power to weight really of those smaller guys kicks in. When it's the punches like a Koretsky who's got more of a sprint, but on that long climb you can't activate that sprint because you don't have the recovery. You just have to ride it at a steady, hard tempo.
Well, let's keep an eye on Nino Schurter then, see if he avails himself of a chance to change a tyre or two. It's all business still at the front though. Blevins maybe slightly deeper in the pack than he would want. Koretsky's in third at the minute. Simone Avendetto's in there as well for Willie Vittoria.
Boischet leading the racing and coming out from some road racing early this season, racing for Red Bull Bora development team. So this could help him for this type of course.
Not just racing, winning. Two of them this season already going Adrien Boischet's way, and Vidari hanging the back end out over the jumps. Yep, this first group moving quickly now.
Luca Matin in the front group, the French Dynamite.
He's definitely the French Dynamite.
World Under-23 champion from last year and stepping up almost seamlessly into this front group of a World Cup.
Would you make a Martin, Henrik? He could be the real deal, couldn't he?
Oh, he has the caliber to perform and to win on the highest level. I think he just needs like to balance himself a little bit more, to be conservative, to save the equipment mainly. We saw him in the past leading at the Under-23 World Cup with a huge gap, and then he had like a double flat with a big margin. So it's about like learning how to race at the highest level, but he has the caliber physically and technically.
And I tell you what, a coach that'll help you with that, Phil Dixon.
Absolutely.
Maybe the right meeting of people at the right time in his career.
We've talked about this. We're looking at the front of the race now. Adrian Boischi hitting the front from it. I think it's the first time he's ever led a World Cup. You know, he's got close to that front group before. Last year he stepped up from U23 to Elite, and he had some great results, but this is the first time in that front group. We saw Sammy Maxwell do it last week in the Elite Women's, but he's a mature rider, right?
Yeah, Blevins dropping back to 6th, but really experienced Christopher Blevins. He'll know that energy saved now is energy he can rely on late in the race. It's his two young teammates, Boischi and Vidari, leading the way. Just as we say that, Blevins takes to the front, so this pack all still together now. Vidari drops back deeper in it, so Specialized Racing maybe still mixing things up at the front. Henrik, you're gritting your teeth.
Yeah, the thing is that having 4 riders in the front group, that's dangerous. I think that's why Luca is charging now, because you need to bring that to lower riders.
Schwarzbauer at the front now, but Henrik's right. Specialized Factory Racing, strength in depth at the front of this one. The second round of the UCI Cross Country Olympic World Cup in Araxa. Schwarzbauer leads them on the number 12 bike for Canyon Collective. Blevins in 2nd place, won the short track yesterday. Behind him, Filippo Colombo's recovered really well.
He's got good legs to roll back to the front, but Lukas Schwarzbauer, it's great to see him back at the front of a cross-country race. We know he's a short track he's won a number of those, but never won an XCO race, and we've got to be feeling good, but he likes to ride at the front and kind of boss it.
Lap times down to 8:02 for Puntner, fastest on the last one.
Yeah, if you look at the lap times dropping back, it's you know, an 8:08, 8:05 for the first lap, and they've gone that 15 seconds slower this lap, so it just showed how hot that first lap was. Specialized guys obviously trying to get that break again. Didn't work this time, and they've settled into it. I think it's going to be a slower burn for those guys this week.
All together at the front of this one. Vidari getting shuffled back in the pack now, the rider in the Chilean National Champions jersey at the bottom of this climb, but you don't have to worry about Martin Vidari. Another rider who likes the heat. It's Blevins though at the front. Schwarzbauer not too far behind him. There's Koretsky in the red and white of the overall points leaders jersey. Luca Martin hanging right in there for Cannondale as well behind him.
Jordan Saru coming back up through.
Jordan Saru and Simon Andreasen with that trademark upright style on the bike. Dario Lilo's in there. There's Nino Schurter. Just looking to see if either of those two tires look soft, but does seem to be in trouble to go.
There's some big engines in that second group.
Cole Punchard as well, having a better time of it than he fared last time out. Oh, Vidari taking on that rock. Look at Boischi.
Looking very calm and collected on the bike.
Yeah, and Koretsky as well. Super active with the upper body, but his face looks like he's just relaxed watching telly.
Yeah, it's incredible if you're new to mountain bike racing, how still the head can remain. The bikes and bodies working so well to iron out the creases, of which there are a fair few here in Araxa. Really technical track. Different kettle of fish to last weekend. Straight up, straight down, more or less.
Yeah, Jordan Saru coming through fast, and I think he's going to just get onto the back of this group by the top of the climb.
Still a little bit of a gap in between this 9-man group and the chasing group led by Jordan Sahu. I think Sahu is a top guy, so he needs to be on that front group.
Yeah, and I think Saru over this top section will just squeeze.
There's the whoop live of Christopher Blevins, 185 beats per minute. He has not come out of zone 5 yet. Pushing really, really hard. Manual through here last time. Are we going to see it this time? No, Blevins keeps the wheels on the deck. Koretsky does it instead.
But this is a section where you can just get some recovery. You can carry some speed off that Red Bull descent into this section here, and you can just float a little bit, even if it's just 5-10 seconds where you're just not putting pressure through the upper or the lower body and just chill a bit.
You need to be careful though, because you have those like flat, long corners. So if you relax too much and you hit those flat corners too relaxed, or you know, like losing concentration, you might just wash it out.
Like we saw Colombo on this one before, and the ones just after this section where it's really fast, and yeah, you're right, you chill a little bit. We saw a couple of guys, Olivia and Esti, under 23 rider, slapping off on the berms, just chilling, and then the front wheel just folding. And this section here is nasty. There's no camber, there's no berm.
That front group absolutely superb through the roots and off camber turns as they head back into the open now. All still together at the front. This one, Boashi now shuffled back to 7th. Then it's Martin, Litcher.
Avendetto, Billy Vittorio as well, doing a good ride at the moment. Just sitting there, floating around, always in the right place.
Still around 5 seconds, 6 seconds in between those two big groups.
Yeah, I think they were just getting on that second group, and then Blevins hit the front and just drove it a bit.
Blevins leading the way then. But as we know from his Whoop Live, working extremely hard in the red zone since the start of the race. Jordan Sarrou, look how hard the French national champion's pushing to get on the back. Just a drink, no water over the head. There's Dario Lillo, Giant Factory Racing. Those two young riders they brought in this season, really impressive. There's this Jens Shermans, the more experienced teammate.
Nino coming through.
But not coming back. The gap, it's not huge, but it's increasing.
So that gap now from Blevins to Nino, 29 seconds. Last week when he had a flat, he lost a minute, so 29 wouldn't be enough to stop and fix a flat, so it probably looks like it's just pace. Yeah, Thomas Litcher doing a fantastic ride, just floating on the back of that group, punching tickets.
Blevins, Colombo, Schwartzbauer, Koretsky, Vidari. Pace at the front of this one, extremely high.
Avendetto, the European champion, always there, always in touch. Also coming from the Cape Epic with a very, very solid result, finishing second on his first participation in the race. So the pace and the shape must be really good.
Here they are rolling around the flat section. Blevins just stretches the back out. 32 kilometers an hour cruising speed through there. Henrik just gesticulating that they're all back together again.
They just had a time to chill, perhaps earlier than the lap before. So that could be the chance for the chasing group to close the gap now.
You said before about the guys that have ridden that Cape Epic stage race. Two advantages. One, it's the overload of training. The other one is the time in the heat. They had a really hot Cape Epic this year, dangerously hot. And then those guys who've ridden it have had a load of time in it.
You have to say as well, it's maybe not as obvious as we saw at round one, but this is still pure control from Specialized Factory Racing. Strength in numbers in this front group. They don't mind this. They can start peeling riders off once they start working together as they head round to the finish line. Let's get them on to lap 4 out of 10 then. And it's Chris Blevins who leads them across the line.
Sarrou closing the gap and straight to the front of this group.
Jordan Sarrou has teleported to the front of this one. It's now Schwartzbauer and Sarrou. Can they create a bit of a allied front here? Try and combat the strength. And there's Nino Schurter back in 23rd, so things not going his way today.
It's good Lucas Schwartzman. I think his tactic that last time is if you can hit that climbing first wheel, it just gives them a bit of sliding room in the group. You know, it's a tactic that people would use in a road race. If you start the climb at the front, you've got to drift a long way back. Everyone's got to come round you.
So, fastest lap of the race so far going to Fabio Puntner, the Swiss rider, for an 8:02. After that, it's Vidari, Specialized, Blevins, Specialized, Koretsky, Specialized.
Riley Amos as well. Trek Pirelli, 11th possession for the American rider. Under 23 superstar from last year. Had a tough introduction last week.
Look at this, up the climb though. That's Riley Amos for Trek Factory Racing, giving it a good go at the head of the chase group. Blevins, Schwartzbar. Oh, it's getting tight up there. Boishy just about in third place.
It'll be interesting to see if, like I say, we've got this strength and depth from Specialized, whether they're just happy just to keep up a really hard tempo or actually start playing, well, not sacrificing a rider, but letting someone do a hard lap and forcing some other guys to go.
Well, we're seeing Vidari sitting further back in the pack now in 8th. Boishy's up in 3rd, so they do seem to be rotating around. Maybe a bit of an internal team time trial effort. Henrik, what's your read on it? What do you reckon?
Still very close together, but if you have 4 men in the leading group, you can put like 2 guys in the front just to control the race, to respond the moves and the attacks, and just chill a little bit on the tail of the group, because you know someone is going to be there, so you can take a few risks that you usually wouldn't take if you were alone there.
And this is a man who's recently started racing on the road, so he knows what if he speaks.
It looks like that front group just having a bit of a lull. This second big group coming back. Riley Amos pushing along to 8:23 and 8:26 for the front group, so a few seconds difference.
There is Nino Schurter on. Is he struggling? Is one of those? Is the front wheel slightly flat, Henrik? I mean, he could have. I mean, a front's a fairly quick change, you would think, if he did have one.
It just looks like he's over the bike a little bit, like it's just not a great day. You know, when people have to use their upper body a bit more to force the bike, rather than just sitting down with with good cadence.
Pedaling with the chin, as Dixie would say.
Yeah. Here they go then, Schwartzbar in the German national champions jersey. Through there on lap 4 out of 10. Big, long, hot race this. Oof. Schwartzbar just catching the edge of that rock and nearly getting spat off the front of the bike, and that's where those pinch punctures can happen.
And that's where we saw Sammy Maxwell as well, almost having a big off.
And we see the gap like decreasing now. From first place to 22nd place, it's just 16 seconds.
Yeah.
But there's always like a rider in front of you, so you always have like just a 1-2 seconds gap to the guy in front.
I can tell you, Fabio Puntner still holds that fastest lap record with an 8:02. That's scorchingly fast lap as they head down through the Red Bull energy zone.
There's a few gaps just appearing in this group, just over the top of that climb, whether someone just lost it on the rocks.
Manual through there, neatly done for Blevins.
Gatto just letting the wheel go to Vidari. Toes back on pretty sharpish.
Galinski up there as well, the Brazilian currently circulating 14th, so having another good day. Alex Malacarne in 30th at the minute for Brazil as well.
4 Specialized in that front group now.
Oh, Schwartzbar just going slightly tighter on exit there, and you can see having to lump his way through it.
Good more. South African under-23 rider from last year. Wow, just moving up through into 8th position now.
Up in 8th.
Wow.
Blevins still in the lead of this one by just 1 second from his teammate Victor Koretsky. This cross-country Olympic race finished the opposite way around last weekend. Specialized factory racing all of a sudden with 3 riders on the front though. Blevins, Koretsky and Boishy. Vidari's in 5th at the minute, so We're seeing the pace wound on by Blevins now. Is this going to be the move?
Just see out that corner, the way he didn't just roll, he actually accelerated attack, just looked behind him, just seeing what damage he'd done.
Yeah, making sure there's plenty of red behind him.
Just coming back to Luke Moore, the South African as well.
A little bit of a
fastest
gap
lap
now.
of the race.
All of a sudden, Avendetto is in the middle of the big red machine, Specialized, dominating the top 5 here. Is this the move? Ollie, your mouth's hanging open in disbelief. Look at Specialized here.
4 out of the front 5, and they're pushing clear. If they can hold this gap to when you get to the bottom, they've got, you know, it's going to be a 4 on time trial. Avendetto will just sit on the back and hang on for dear life.
And look at the riders behind them, all soloists.
Oh, oof. But you've also got Schwartzbauer, Colombo, probably just a little bit slower on the tech than someone like Blevins. And that gap just going to open up a little bit. I saw these Specialized guys with their skills coach, Yuri Rees, all 5 of them, and it looked like this. They were just coming down, absolutely pinning it.
Oh, look at Moyer.
If they look behind and see the gap they've got.
Moyer just about the most stylish through that jump section for me, but Avendetto here, the Jaws music is on, and you get the feeling Vidari, if he gets round the rider in 4th place at the minute, the train will really start rolling as they head on to the asphalt section. And here we go as Christopher Blevins stretches his back, looks round, Victor Koretsky rolls past him.
And these guys have got to drive it.
It's time to go.
Time to go. 100%. They have to commit.
They've got Avendetto in the mix. Vidari, the last member of the team, is just behind him. Are we going to see them hit the tarmac and explode and try and distance the rest of the field just as they did at round 1?
I think Avendetto, when he looks behind him, looks like maybe they've got back on.
So maybe, just maybe. No, they're sitting up, taking a gel and some water, and the group has got back on, so...
I think they missed such an opportunity then. I think they're maybe not aware of the damage, but Blevins stretched his back.
Blevins into the red zone, still 178. He hasn't been out of it yet, but look at Koretsky at 147 in zone 3. In the yellow, still Koretsky, so... plenty more in the tank. They've all got back on now. Is Ollie right, Henrik? Do you think that was a mistake? Do you think that was the opportunity?
There was a huge mistake from my point of view.
Vidari, though, rolls through to lead them on the last lap.
Easy for us to look at from a commentary booth, but...
Never admit that, Ollie. Nobody needs to know how the hot dogs are made.
But the gap was there, and maybe it's so difficult you can't see behind you. Maybe no teammate was able to give some instructions, but the gap was there. We saw the hit to the bottom. Blevins had a drink, stretched his back, but actually I'm sure if he knew the damage, that was the opportunity. 4 out of 5 gone.
You also need to communicate, like they were on a quiet part of the course. So if you are, for example, Vidari sitting in 5th, you look back, you see a gap, you just yell to your teammates and just say, go on, boys.
I thought that was done then.
Well,
but now
it's
that's
not done yet.
Colombo's back in the race again. They had the right guys in the right position. The split was there.
But
look at Vidari attacking up this climb. It's still looking pretty good out front for Specialized.
I think they might get away with it.
They definitely have the strength in numbers. Fastest lap 4 though. Luke Moyer with an 8:06.8. Look at the second fastest. Boashi 8:16. 10 seconds faster for Moyer on that lap.
I don't know how you do an 8:06 on the 4th lap when it's like this.
Vidari, Boashi now with the jersey wide open.
Gap appearing, maybe Evans, whether it's form or just letting that wheel go to these guys. This way they can start playing the tactics.
Schwartzbauer still in there, as is Avendetto. Flings the glasses.
Yeah, Avendetto trying to get past, but then it was Koretsky that kind of almost blocked the track a bit. You see, trying to fit through the middle. He wants to respond.
I'm loving seeing this, you know, Lucas Schwartzbauer back at the front of things. But it's the young team who are inflicting the damage now. Boashi and Vidari. then it's Blevins just trying to shoulder out Avendetto. Koretsky's behind him. Are the 4 Specialized riders going to get back into formation again as they head onto the descent?
But yeah, you don't want to let these guys all lead into the descent together.
But look where Jordan Saru is. It was only a couple of laps ago that he'd pinned his way back to the front, and now that is the damage being inflicted on him.
But if you look at the lap times from Boashi, 8:08, 8:18, 8:26, 8:16, they've started to ramp it up now.
There's Riley Amos still in the mix as well. 16th now for Amos. There's Ulan Galinski. It's a nod of approval from Henrik Avancini. Would like to see him a couple of more spots up the road, but to be fair to him, he's got a difficult day out there ahead of him.
Now decent ride again inside the top 20.
Boashi leads the way. Boashi from Vidari, Avendetto in third, then Blevins, then Koretsky. Luke Moyer hanging in there admirably. Best ride we've seen from him thus far. 7th as it stands, 4 seconds back off the lead.
It's going to be a fight. Got to be so careful with this positioning now. Front 3 for Specialized, 5th for Koretsky. And Avendetto's wise to it again, but if they hit that descent.
And Vidari half-wheel and Boashi just at the bottom of that climb as Blevins dips the head in order to try and get back on. Adrian Boashi starting to exert a little bit of pressure now.
And a little bit of a gap to Schwarzbauer now. So the laps before, he was trying to hit the climb in the front of the group and just lose a little bit, just drift a little bit to the back of the group. And now he's on a harder position now.
Colombo has ridden his way back onto that group really, really well, you know. There he is in the black helmet. So we're hearing a bib 20s. That's Julian Schelb has broken a chain. That could be all she wrote for him.
So Filippo Colombo. Wow, Schwarzbauer just on the back of that group, just hanging on. They need to keep up on this descent.
Boashi, Vidari, Avendetto, Blevins, Koretsky. Lap 5 out of 10 as we near the halfway point of this one.
Such a tricky section, this one.
There's no nice way to ride it. There's no way around those routes that work. It's almost easier in the other direction, as we saw at race 1. Koretsky just rolls through.
Simon Avendetto in 3rd position, the Villa Vittorio rider, doing a great ride so far.
He's kind of the fly in the ointment at the minute,
got
isn't he?
to keep fighting to hold position and not let everyone get away.
The men in red can't shift him to get themselves shuffled into the top 4. Boashi, though, doing an absolutely fantastic turn at the front here. I'm wondering if we'll just see him move back in the pack.
That's so hard to Avendetto because he needs to respond to every move.
Yeah.
As we see now, Blevs and Koretsky still there, but just, you know, like allowing themselves to lose a couple of seconds here and there because they know that it's going to park at the bottom again, so they save a little bit the legs for the back end of the race.
And we talked about it earlier on this week, didn't we, that the rest of the teams were going to have to find a way. There is the KMC Ridley squad's Julian Schelb, a broken chain. Looks like it's maybe the mech has come off as we see Vidari and Boashi at play. Look how cool, calm and collected Adrian Boashi looks through there. Well, the 2 senior members of that elite men's team had it all their way last week. They're going to have to go some to get past the young pups today.
And we did talk before about how that course last week really suit the punchier guys in that team, which would be Koretsky and Blevins. And this week, maybe the riders like Boashi and Vidari probably better at that big, longer, sustained effort.
You just saw Schwarzbauer landed slightly deep there. Line choice compromised as a result. Vidari hangs the back axle out. And if you're Avendetto and you're seeing those 2 young riders have that much fun over the jumps, look at Moyer. Just about bringing that whip back and no more. Do you know what? A lot of people would think it's a grimace, but I think that is a smile on the face of Martin Vidari. I think he's enjoying this out front with Boashi.
But it's exactly the same situation of last time, that Colombo just not as happy on the descents as these guys. He just lets the wheel go a little bit. It'll be interesting if Boischi's going to drive it this time, or is he going to have a little rest?
So this is where we saw Christopher Blevins stretch his back out last time. What we seeing here, Henrik?
A little bit of a gap to Colombo, and right now I'm not really sure if he's just allowing the gap to open it up, because he probably at this point he understood, okay, the Specialized boys are not charging together, so I can allow myself like to lose 4 or 5 seconds and close the gap easily without spending much, as we just saw on video now.
Vidar, it rolls through now to lead this race. Watch Luke Moyer, the rider, in the back of the shot now. Oh, just as we cut away from it.
But what a ride by Luke Moyer.
Yeah, huge.
Under 23 rider last year, and not one, you know, a class rider, good results, but not like a Riley Amos where they were winning week in, week out. Big step up for the South African.
Boischi just putting some ice down the back of the jersey. Simone Appendato, UCI Continental Champion for Europe, hanging in there. Against all odds, you'd have to say. The rider in the white and blue jersey, Moyer, just moving past Colombo now, heading further up the ranks. This is the stuff of dreams for Moyer right now, isn't it?
Oh. I mean, he had a good result last week in the mix, 19th, and you know we call that a great race, but he's just at the back of this group working hard, sitting there, and not looking like he's struggling.
And we're just hearing as
really
well,
good race.
Apparently Adrien Boischi has had a tactical vomit somewhere, so definitely digging deep. We have ominously been promised a replay of it, so we'll see if that materializes as they head into the multi-line section. Boischi, there he is, maybe feeling the strains of those lead laps, drops back down the pack now.
Yeah, some guys, sometimes maybe they have an energy gel and sometimes it just doesn't sit too well. So maybe not really being sick, but
Fabio Puttner again.
Yeah, Puttner 20th last week. So class rider, but really coming through at speed. We see him on the 44 coming up, just joining the back of this group, dragging Jordan Saru back again towards this front.
Meanwhile, Blevins back at the front, past Vidari. Koretsky comes with him, or does he? No, Vidari up the right-hand side. Schwarzbart still hanging in there.
Kalele Stape from the BH rider as well, having a good race in this second group. See, just coming through in the BH kit. Puttner just behind as well.
Yep, having a great day, Puttner. Sticking fastest laps in left, right, and centre. This man on your screen now.
And obviously quite a way back in the gridding, 44 on the number plate, so having to move up through in those first couple of laps.
Avendetto swings out to the rider's right-hand side, try and make his presence felt a bit more at the front of this one. Meanwhile, it's Specialized. 1, 2, and 3.
But considering we're, you know, on the 6th lap of 10, it's still a really big group. I thought on this climb how tough it is. It would probably be to split the race a little bit more, but every time he hit that flat, it just allows a couple of riders to keep coming back in.
Yeah, you still have to wonder, there was that mistake a couple of laps ago when Specialized had things lined up and they built a little gap behind him. They only had Avendetto for company and they sat up, didn't make a break for it.
It's always very dangerous if you allow people to get some hope. So if you're in a situation of controlling and bossing the race, you should take it.
There you go, hope's a dangerous thing. Andreasen on the 69 bike, having a tough day out there. He's in 20th at the minute, the Dane.
And it's the psychology on a day like today. The body is so hot, the pace is so high. If you have a little bad patch or things don't go your way, even one moment, then the brain just, the morale drops. Sometimes things go your way, and then all of a sudden, you feel like you're on the front foot.
And those three kind of closing the gap now.
Yeah.
Lap 6 out of 10, and Christopher Blevins leads the way, but this is starting to get stretched out now at the front of the second round of the UCI Cross Country Olympic World Cup here in Araxa, Brazil.
Again, it's Avendetto, best of the rest, going with them.
What a ride from Avendetto.
Yeah.
But that's so hard because on the lap before it was Boishi and Vidal
Yeah.
charging,
And
and
then
he
this.
was there chasing, and now he's chasing Blevins and Koretsky. So that costs you so much energy.
Look at the speed they're rattling through this descent. It is arrow straight down that A-line, and there's this nasty little kicker at the end of it that just bucks the bikes up in the air. Koretsky manuals through the double. And you can actually see the riders towards the back of that pack visibly travelling slower than the riders out front as they head through this A-line. Look at Vidari chasing down Blevins here. That's one thing Christopher Blevins said in that piece we saw earlier in the show, that if he could siphon off one superpower from each of his teammates, he'd have Martin Vidari's ability to just press send, as we see Luca Schwarzbauer, the 1,000-yard stare.
Some sort of like zombie state. Fixed.
Luke Moyer as well in 7th, still huge ride from him, 5 seconds off the lead of this race, deep into things on lap 6 out of 10.
Yeah, and he's one of those riders as well. We see some riders that are still in the mix, like Saru, but they're yo-yoing the whole time. You know, keep going backwards and forwards, and they're relying on that start-finish bunching up. Whereas Luke Moyer's sat in that group and not having to rely on that. He's in a great place, which means he gets that little bit of extra recovery at the bottom.
And he had a bad lap 1, starting far back in the grid. So he lost some time on lap 1 and was able to close the gap, and the lap times are very consistent.
Big look backwards from Blevins there. He may well have just spotted some clear air behind Victor Koretsky. Is Christopher Blevins going to turn the screw and attack now and try and string this one out?
Again, it's the same 5. Avendetto and the 4 special riders. Will it become just, look, whether it's an issue or slide out, but just letting that wheel go a little bit.
Christopher Blevins, winner of the short track yesterday, leading the way. There's Vidari, millimetres off the back of the leader's bike.
And there's a real gap there now. And again, it's that same mix, deja vu. It's Luke Moyer now who's leading the chase.
Maybe before was too early in their minds to charge. Let's see what they do now.
These guys are going to take it on. But there's a real gap there now. Moyer, Schwarzbauer, Colombo.
Whoa. Oh, you love to see it. Victor Koretsky in full flight. Henrik Avancini nodding his approval of that one. We saw him off the bridge last year in Mairopora. He's done it again to us.
But at least for Avendetto, Boashi hasn't made the split. So at least he's got one less specialised rider to deal with.
Well, we are hearing that, Boashi was sick somewhere on the bike, so maybe just a bit too hot for him as Vidari rolls through. This seems to be the same point every lap where Specialized change leader.
But a bit more intent now.
And Colombo just lost the front group now, the chasing group. Maybe something happened.
Here we go, Henry. Talk us through this one.
It's a high bridge, Victor. You have 2 kids to raise. Just want to let you know.
Wheels down. But I mean, we're laughing about it. That shows the reserves of energy, that he's still playing with the bike. He's still having fun. Fast is fun, isn't it, Henrik?
Such a stylish rider. So much style and smoothness.
Luke Moyer 11 seconds back.
That's the gap.
That's the gap. It's 12.
Yeah.
Now, so let's see what it is as they cross the line.
But I think now they need to drive it.
I can tell you, Boishi's down in 10, 13 seconds back, so that might be all she wrote for him, but here we go. Gel going in for Vidari. As he takes that, Blevins rolls back through. Avendetto, though, still looking good, you know.
Yeah. Big gap now, though. These guys need to ride. They can keep pushing on.
Boishi, though. Boishi's got the email late in the day, needs to get across there. But is he going to bring the rest of the herd with him?
Just like a road race, you can't take the other guys with you. I mean, it's nuts for seeing road tactics in an XC race.
it's different, but at times just a stimulus for people to respond.
But I think, yeah, Boashi, unfortunately, he's missed the boat. You can't drag that whole group back. You know, if he makes an attack, like he did the right thing, he went long. But once you see you've dragged him, he's got to stop riding now.
It's early days, I know, but are we going to see Avendetto do what Paulus did to Visma the other day? Here they are, though. Information at the front. Blevins, Vidari, Koretsky. This attack could come on this climb, you know, to distance Avendetto.
But if Adrian Boashi wants to get across, he needs to do it on the climb and not take the other riders with him. He doesn't want to pull those guys back to the front. They're in a good situation at the moment.
I would love to hear if there's any Specialized team staff roaring across to Boashi.
I think I heard Mike Postamis' roar from here.
Yeah. Is this tactically what they need to be doing, Henrik?
No, not really. Not from Boashi.
I was trying to be sympathetic about it, but the both of you just looked at me and went, no.
3 riders in the front 4, good gap. You know, it's like,
let them go.
Just got to let them go. And maybe, you know, leave it a little bit, let the gap cement, and then if you've got the legs, you jump across on your own.
But as a neutral, this is why we love the talents of an Adrian Boashi. He just doesn't know any other way, rides on feel. I want to get back to the front of this race. And I'll gamble on people not being strong enough to go with me. There's the gap. He's brought him right back. Both of the experts at the booth have their head in their hands. Avendetto attacks now, Specialized. Are they overthinking this? Is it all going wrong? Avendetto to the front, up the climb now.
Big move now. And that's it. If you've got the legs, take it to them. But the way to take it to them is on the climb, on the slow section where no one can get in the slipstream, not through that start-finish when you're just going to drag riders along.
Lucas Schwarzbar's hanging in there. Adrian Boashi is about to arrive at your mate's house party with a load of guys no one knows or wants there.
Oh, Andreasen. 69 board just dropping back a little bit now.
Blevins is still in the lead of this one, but they're all back together again, and it's the Specialized rider Adrian Boashi that's brought that gap back down. So here we go. Watch this attack from Avendetto. Swings out.
And that's a big move. I mean, look how much space to get from the 4th rider to the 1st. He has to go 5-6 meters.
But Henrik, what a psychological win for Avendetto. He says, I'm not just sitting in this group, I'll take you on.
Absolutely. I think you need to show yourself at this point, because otherwise the guys, they feel that they can do whatever they want. So that's a way to just hurt people, and there is a gap now.
He's put Koretsky.
Where's Koretsky?
Yeah.
Where is Victor Koretsky in this picture all of a sudden? So Avendetto's decided this group getting back on is a good chance for him to go and attack, and it looks like it's distanced the UCI World Cup overall leader, Victor Koretsky.
There is a gap.
Yeah.
There he is. So the gap to Koretsky's growing now.
What an attack from Avendetto.
By our count, about 6 seconds or so. So it's all kicking off here in lap 7 out of 10.
Koretsky trying to get back on terms. Boashi never quite closed that gap to that front group.
And it's just that little move where the group came back across Koretsky. Not looking great here, looking like he's on the rope.
I'm loving these #1 leaders jerseys, by the way.
Yeah, it makes our job a bit easier.
I've got a lot of time for that.
These 3 at the front, though, all working together, scampering away. And is this where the race fractures?
Avendetto, I thought you'd just sit there and hope for the best and hope it splits, but fair play to him. He took it on, attacked.
Hey, Jordan Sarou's not beaten yet. You know, Wheeler in 6th place. Here we go into the route section.
And Avendetto charging through that corner. You could see that he's taking some risks just to make sure that he's splitting the race now.
Avendetto, European champion from 3 years ago, European champion last year in Elites. You made a big step up last year. 2 cross-country Olympics. So far wins to Christopher Blevins. On both of those times, he didn't podium in the short track. So if Blevins, and it's a big if, given what we're looking at the minute, can win the day, it'll be his first double. Koretsky's done it, Leger, of course. But this one, absolutely fascinating. We're Specialized. Maybe, just maybe, trying to focus on perfection. And have they opened the door to Avendetto here? I raise the eyebrows from Henrik Avancini in the commentary booth. This is a vintage Avancini style effort, this from Avendetto off the front.
Thanks for the reference. I feel honored. Well, it was 4 against 1, 4 against 2, and then 3 against 1, and now it's down to 2 against 1. So
if the odds aren't in your favor, you may as well attack and see what they're made of. It's exactly what the Italian did.
And Avendetto, best World Cup last year, 5th position in Mont Saint-Anne, so big step up.
Huge step up from Avendetto, best we've ever seen him right now. A couple of top 5s to his name, as you say. There's Christopher Blevins still operating in zone 5. Koretsky back in there with Boishy.
I think that attack by Avendetto, but Koretsky and Boishy responding, coming back on the descent. He's not obviously going to get any help from Blevins Madare, and it could be back at 4 special in the front 5 by the time he gets to the start-finish.
They might have another crack at this, yeah, I'd say once they hit the tarmac. The Specialized factory team, as they continue to jump that bridge, it's a big reach that as well. But at the speed they're traveling, doable. Boishy looks to have stabilized really, really well here. It wasn't that long ago we were talking about him being out of this one, but right back in the front group now. Front 6 covered by 8 seconds. 14 seconds back to Armand, the fast charging Fabio Puntener.
Yeah, fair play to the special guys. Despite the criticism we were giving them, they are back to 4 in the front 5.
It wasn't criticism, it was observation. I'll stick my claim on that.
the point is that they're so strong at the moment, and it's 4 of them. So the least we expect is that they're going to use that for their advantage and win the race. But perhaps they know and trust themselves that they all can go, you know, for the individual result as well.
Avendetto, the man out front, does have a UCI World Champs under-23 title to his name back in 2022, so by no means a slouch, but you have to, whatever happens from here on out, you've got to give him his due. He's not rolled over and taken this from Specialized.
And Avendetto just needs to roll straight off the front here, give it to those other guys in the 4. You see, I mean, they're going to be wondering.
Look at these 2 behind them, though, holding it in.
That attack from Avendetto hurt. That was the hardest attack of the race so far.
Puntener and Moyer have skipped that tech feed zone in order to get back onto this group, and they are coming at some speed onto the back of it now. Puntener, we may have to get the catch netting out to get him slowed down at the end of this race. Can't stop setting fastest laps. There he is to the front now, Puntener. Just when we thought we'd had our belly full of drama here at Araxa, Puntener's taking the front of this race, and that's going to have to force a reaction from the Specialized team.
And who would have thought Puntener would be the highest placed Swiss guy and leading the race?
Well, I mean, the warning signs were there with the fastest laps he's been set. But look, he's soldiering on at the front of it. Henrik Avancini's enjoying this one more and more.
Oh, I do love racing.
I'm glad this one's going to stop when it is, otherwise you'd be back out there trying to get a bike to get out there.
Just when we thought it was going to be a Specialized just, you know, taking over the whole thing. Puntener and Moy at the front with Saru.
Right, we're on lap 8 out of 10. We all need to take a deep breath and just enjoy this, because there's so much more racing left in this one. Schwarzbar still refusing to be dropped as well. He's just behind Geoffrey Kaleli-Stat from the BH Kaloma team. Luke Moyer's still in there, the South African privateer in the green jersey. Fabio Puntener. Here we go, watch this next shot. We'll see Puntener, how he got back, well, how he got to the front, having not been on it yet. Saru in there, looking for diary, just happened to do a quick mental roll call. Schwarzbar, that 1,000 yards there, out to 2,000 yards now, but he's still in there. Geoffrey Kaleli-Stat. And who's that on the right-hand side, having a good go? It is Avendetto
again.
Blevins up out of the saddle, working away.
But for those guys, especially Puntener, you close the gap at this point of the race, you almost taste the chance of winning. So that's very dangerous, especially like you can see Koretsky just hurting a little bit more.
Koretsky looks like he's still in a bit of trouble here. Schwarzbart refusing to give up on this.
Schwarzbauer doing a great race, but definitely riding this one out.
Here we go. Watch this, Ollie. This is them skipping the tech feed zone. And that is, yeah, you don't have to go in to take a bottle and feed. It's a slightly more circuitous route round if you do. They managed to make time, although skipping a bottle on a day like today, nearly 30 degrees out there. Quelle surprise, another fastest lap of the race goes to Fabio Puntener.
That lap, Edron Boischi, 8:06. Really, really fast lap. Those guys to close the gap. Yeah.
Matthias Fluke finding a good lap on lap 6.
So I can tell you, after Lucas Schwarzbauer in 10th place, there's 41 seconds back to the lead of the race, and it's Max Brandl leading up that group. So this, to be the controlling group, but I kind of feel like it's just been a scattergun of names at the front of this race. It's been hard to keep up with this one.
It's been a real, just when we thought it was going to be deciding that group we're going to pull clear, it just keeps coming back together and a bit of a mix-up.
Puntener's best elite cross-country Olympic 15th in Lake Placid in 2024, 7th in the under-23 in snowshoe in 2021.
Puntener just drifting off the back of that group. I mean, when you think where he had to come from as well, he had to come from deep in the pack, no short track, so he's in the 40s at the start.
Josh Carson letting us know from the course. Filippo Colombo now back in the third group with Martin and Paraido. So Colombo back in 18th then, that makes it.
I mean, considering that we're already an hour in, the 21 are only all covered by a minute, top 21 riders.
Apparently Colombo has been down as well. That's why we've seen him, I guess, drop back from the front of this one, covered in dirt, according to Carlson. So not his day today. There's Moyer
at the front.
At the front now.
Luke Moyer attacking on the descent.
Moyer.
And he's been looking technically really strong.
Oh. See, Blevins just nearly losing the front end of that Epic 8 through that route section. Luke Moyer decided we haven't had enough drama in this race yet, and we need a privateer at the front of it.
But I think if you're looking, the special guys, they go, okay, we're all in great shape, we're going to boss this. They get attacked by Avandetto, and then Luke Moyer hits the front. Puntener comes past and leads it out of nowhere. And it's like...
But also you need to lead the charge. You need to lead the chase once someone else moves away. So as you can see now, Luke Moyer to the front, and then it's Blevins doing the work to close the gap.
Sammy Maxwell said at the end of her round one that, you know, it was like an hour-and-a-half long short track race. You could definitely level that accusation at this one as well. It's just been move and fire, move and fire. Moyer leads the way then. Luke Moyer, the privateer South African. Behind him, Blevins, Saru, Vidari for Specialized Factory Racing.
Yeah, and he's putting the pressure on.
Saru's in there as well for for BMC Factory Racing. Everyone just take a breath. This has been non-stop from the gun. Watch Moyer through this jump line now. Sends it like he's on an enduro or a downhill bike. Geoffrey Colella-Stapp looking really good as well for BH Coloma. There's Puntener, Koretsky sandwiched between the two of them. Colella-Stapp with his tongue out. Schwarzbauer now. Toe rope stretching a wee bit. Here we go. Watch Moyer through here. Your race leader.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. That is what we like to see. On lap 8 out of 10 in a cross-country World Cup. Henrik Avancini's eyes are out on stock.
Scrubbing doubles.
Yeah. Luke Moyer
Luke Moore, another rider as well, that I think, as far as I'm aware, reading, he had a contract, the team stopped. So again, he's had to scrape stuff together.
Same situation as Thomas Licher.
Yeah.
That was the same team.
And we had Alan Hafferley, overall title winner, South African, leave the sport to focus on the road a bit more this season. Another South African slotted straight back in there at the lead of the race. Great to see. Moyer leads the way from Blevins and Saru, Vidari, Boischi, Avendetto, Puntener, Koretsky, Kaleli, Stapp, Schwartzbar. Top 10 then covered by 9 seconds, and it's 44 seconds from the race lead back to Max Brandl.
Luke Moy on a Mondraker bike, and I don't think he'll be too long if he rides like this till he's wearing a different kit.
I wouldn't be surprised they throw the jersey out to him through the last tech feed zone. Grabs
Still
the ball.
pressing on.
Yeah, there's that Puntener again, not going into the tech feed zone, pressing on, getting the... There it is, Puntener's gone off the front of this.
What a move.
Fabio Puntener,
Attacks through the feed.
like he's been shot off the deck of an aircraft carrier, disappearing up the road now, takes them all by surprise. Henrik Avancini up out of his chair with that move, the audacity of the man.
Go on, lad.
4-second gap.
Fabio Puntener didn't come here to take part, he came here to take over, and he's making a good fist of it on lap at 9 out of 10, and someone's going to have to go after him.
Making Luke Moyer chase. All the big factory guys, the big superstar, the World Cup winners, world champions.
Look at the different speed they're travelling at.
What?
Here we go, sit back everyone.
But I mean, fair play to Puntener, but for Luke Moy, I know he wants to win this race, but I'd look at the other guys to take it on.
He can chill
They
now.
need to react.
Are we
He
seeing
needs to chill.
Are we seeing a reaction now? Vidari goes, do you know what, I'll go.
They need to react.
That's a big gap, and let's remind that Puntener, he's one of the fastest on course. He has the fastest lap of the day. So if you give a gap to a guy like that, that's found a flow on course, that's super, super dangerous.
Mountain bike racing, you absolutely have to love it. This is why we love this sport. It's so unpredictable.
And Avendetto's now at the back of the group.
UCI cross-country World Cup racing, absolutely no respecter of reputations. Fabio Puntener leads the way here in Araxa round 2.
2 laps to go, my hands are so sweaty now.
We need gels or something in here, because this is hard to keep up with Fabio Puntener.
It's Vidari taking it on Koretsky, but we saw Koretsky a couple of laps ago swinging a bit, so I don't think he's feeling fantastic.
Boischi, though, we thought that about him on the 70 bike, and he's got back towards the front. Geoffrey Kaleli, Stapp in there on the bright pink BH bike, sort of ectoplasm coloured, but here we go, Puntener up the climb. Vidari is still the one leading the chase. Avendetto swings out, as we know he prefers the right-hand side of this climb.
I mean, Puntener, it's not like they've just pulled him back like on lap. He's putting up a good fight, he's holding a gap, and he's pulling Vidari away.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see if he can hold that gap to Vidari on this descent, because we know Vidari is absolutely electric on the descents.
But Puntener's got the fastest lap of the race, so he's not on the tech stuff, he's on it. He's absolutely pinning it.
And there's also like a couple of seconds in between Vidari and Blevins, so that means that the pace is really hot.
Well, Fabio Puntener leads them, the Swiss rider.
Ideal for him if he can pull Vidari free and make it one-on-one. It's when it's 1-on-3 or 1-on-4 spec, you're on the back foot.
He's kind of doing what Avendetto did to Specialized in the middle of the race, and just saying, do you know what, I will take you on, because if I leave it to a 5-up battle and you've got 4 people, I'm going to lose that, so I may as well take my licks early doors.
But it's splitting.
Puntener splitting Vidari away. Vidari's gone past him. Vidari
sideways.
Crisis management just about hangs on to it. Has got past Puntener, and now Henrik Avancini revs the invisible motorbike. Is Vidari going to make a break for this one?
Vidari straight over the top of Puntener, sideways on the descent.
We thought it was good last weekend, but this race has had it all here in Araxa. Second round of the UCI Cross Country Olympic World Cup.
But Puntner as well, he obviously attacked through the feed when everyone had a lull to have a gel, he went for it.
All of a sudden, 8 seconds covering the top 5 now. This is stretching, you know.
But Blevin's going over the top of Puntner on that attack.
Yeah, and he won't thank him for the effort as he goes past him.
But it'd be great.
Oh, Henrik Avancini, thank you so much for your time and your insight. It's been a pleasure.
I need to recover from a heart attack.
Henrik Avancini leaves the commentary booth as we see Avendetto pull across the front of Puntner. Saru still not done yet on the back of this group.
But it looks like this, you know, the team tactics in the special team where they've, you know, whether you just let Vidari, just let him get the gap, whether they just go in like it's every man for himself. They want that 1, 2, 3.
We saw Vidari play the game so expertly for Specialized Factory Racing last week. Is he going to do it today? Or is he going to go, do you know what? I fancy winning my first UCI Elite Level Cross Country World Cup. Here he is through the routes. Absolutely perfect.
But it's a chance maybe for the Specialized guys just to let Vidari just give him a bit of space.
Koretsky 9 seconds back as well, so Victor Koretsky is in trouble, the UCI World Cup overall points leader here. And you have to say, it's Avendetto and Puntner who have set this race on fire. They have not backed down, they have not been scared of the Specialized Factory Racing machine. And they've taken this one on. Puntner asking so much of that front tyre round there.
Bending himself around that tree there.
Oh, plenty more racing. Vidari, Blevins, Boischi, Avendetto, Puntner. Your top 5 covered by 5 seconds now. They're all back together again.
And it's not the last lap. Oh, we've still got a lap to go. It feels like a last lap.
This is one of the most enthralling UCI Cross Country World Cup races I think we've ever been treated to. It just keeps getting better and better, this sport. This is all to play for. Jordan Saru ahead of his compatriot. There's Boischi towards the front now. Adrian Boischi has rejoined them in 3rd place.
But Vidari getting a bit of a gap, and it was Blevins who actually led the chase. Boischi, Avendetto.
And here they come.
Wow.
And now we have Specialized Factory Racing in the front 3 berths of this one. Avendetto's in 4th.
But there's no real gap now to Puntner, to Moya. I think they're just going to come back again. And again, I think we're going to start this race with a lap to go, maybe with a front group of 8, maybe 10.
There's Moyer. Yep, still in there. And I tell you what, I feel like I've said this 12 times already in this race. Jordan Saru is still in here as well for Team BMC, the French national champion. Can he be a factor over the last lap and a bit here in Araxa?
Yeah, Saru's just been like a yo-yo all day, just back and forth, this front group.
Here we go though, Vidari, Blevins, Boischi, Avendetto, Puntner, Saru getting back on the back of this one as well.
Place your bets now.
No. Do you know what? I'm going to go for Boischi. I think Adrian may have just had a wee bobble in the middle of this and may just fancy establishing himself as a race winner right here this afternoon.
Vidari.
Right, okay then. I mean, that feels like the least secure bet I've ever made, judging on what we've seen over the last hour and 13 minutes. Yep, here we go. It's all going to come back together as they roll round one massive 30-degree hour and 15 minutes short track race this has been.
Is Puntner going to miss the feed again and do another attack?
If Puntner slingshots off that corner again. As we see Koretsky alongside Puntner on this flat section, so maybe the overall leader isn't done with this one yet. Galinski in 15th, fastest Brazilian out there at the minute. Tell you the top 10
again. He's going again.
He's going again. He's going again. Puntner's going again. Is he going to rocket back to the front of this one? Fabio Puntner is. Fabio Puntner refuses to give up and let Specialized Factory Racing have this all their own way. And they're going to have to chase him again on the last lap. For the first time in his career, Fabio Puntner leads a UCI cross-country Olympic World Cup race. The Brazilian fans are loving the underdog story.
Is there a combative prize in this race?
We need to get this man something and recognise these efforts that he's put in today. He might get himself a win. huge, huge respect.
Wow.
For that man.
5 seconds again.
5 seconds. And Saru now. Jordan Saru up into second place as they head across the bridge, of course.
And that lap an 8:19, so faster. It was an 8:25, 8:19. Fastest lap of the race so far for Puntner with an 8:02 when he was trying to get back to this front group, so he's got legs.
I'm telling you what, Fabio Puntner is never buying a coffee on the coffee ride ever again after this performance today.
But he's going to start the last climb of the race with 5 seconds.
Listen to this, the noise he's going to get up this climb when he rounds the corner, and the fans see that it's a privateer in front of this one. Koretsky, we said he might be down and out. Fastest lap of lap 9, and the pack are chasing down Fabio Puntner here, who stays seated. The rest of them are out in the saddle to bring him back in.
And it's Adrian Boischi, who looked like he was swinging a little bit. Swinging. This is how fatigued I am.
We could do with swimming, actually. Cool down a bit. Yeah, it was beautiful, but it's not lasted long. Puntner gets shuffled back in the pack now, and it's Blevins, and it's Vidari, and it's Boischi, and it's Koretsky at the front of this now.
Specialised 1, 2, 3, 4.
Boischi, though, still poker-faced. The grimace. Look at this, Blevins. If there's something above a red zone, he's been in it.
Here we go.
Lap 10 out of 10 on this climb. Is this where the attack's going to come from? How are they going to manage this Specialized now?
Koretsky just blowing a little bit. Avendetto coming round him.
You can see the blue plates off the overall team's leaders doing the damage out front. Avendetto is the rider taking it on. Koretsky. Koretsky looks like he's blowing here. Koretsky looks like he might be done. Moyer gets past. Moyer gets past the overall points leader now. Tell you what, all Puntner has to do is get himself in fifth wheel as they head into that last corner. Blevins, Vidari, Boischi, Avendetto. Your top three at the minute. 4 seconds off the lead is Avendetto in fourth.
Back to the front.
We need to get back to the front just to see how this one is shaking out on that descent. And here it is, Boischi leads them. Blevins, Vidari.
1, 2, 3. Where's Avendetto?
Avendetto, there he comes. Ollie really pinning his colours to the Avendetto mask here. He's fought so bravely. And he's got lines all around this track, you know, that have worked for him all day long.
And Luke Moore's not done yet either. We're just coming into the background now, 5th place. Here he comes. Look at the faces they're pulling now.
Who would you give the most combative award to, him or Puntner?
I'm going to share it.
I can't share it, you got to pick one.
Puntner.
Yeah. I'll give mine to Avendetto then. All's fair in love and war. As Vidari now getting distance. Boischi, Koretsky apparently has blown 17 seconds now back to him in 7th. Boischi, though, leads the way. Adrian Boischi has exploded off the front of this race, explodes off that jump into the descent for the last time.
Vidari in 3rd. This is going to be the biggest descent of Adrian Boischi's life.
Oh, Boischi through the rollers. As they head down, Boischi, Blevins, Vidari. Then it's Avendetto, Moyer in 5th.
9 seconds, 12 seconds. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. But it's these little corners now, which is where a mistake can happen. This is going to be a bit of a bobble through here.
Christopher Blevins is well used to racing Victor Koretsky. He's not racing Victor Koretsky today. It's Adrian Boischi. It's Martin Vidari. The young team have arrived, the new generation. They're all on the same team. They'll have to look each other eye in the eye over the dinner table this evening.
But it was the faces Vidari was pulling.
Is this all out, Ollie? This has to be, doesn't it? There can't be any orders from here on out.
No orders now.
This is every man for himself, a Royal Rumble.
Oh, Avendetto not done. He's coming. There's a big fight.
Of course he's not. Of course he's not done. Simone Avendetto fancies getting back across this.
It will be a brave rider
is
that took
heading
this on.
towards the front of this one. Let's just get a gap.
It would be a brave rider out of these three that chops one of their teammates up to take a win.
It was 8 seconds. Let's see what it is now. Oh, 6 seconds. Look at him coming. The Italian, the European Continental Champion.
But I think between these three, the risk is that you're going to be too respectful for each other.
As they head down through this section.
Oh, Fedari just trying to find every inch, every bit of grip.
Specialised factory racing now. This is not formation flying. This is a dogfight to the finish. Martin Fedari going for a different line. The back end skipping out of that epic 8 race bike. What have you seen, Ollie?
I don't know if Fedari's got a problem, but he went on that beat. I think he might have a flat on that rear tyre. Fedari, I think, has got a rear flat.
Fedari maybe with a rear flat, but look at Avendetto, teeth clenched, going all the way. We know he has done as well. Martin Fedari getting a big wobble through that rock section, just about holds it together. Stands on the pedals. We know that Victor Korecki had a puncture in the last lap last weekend. Is it Fedari's turn today?
Pretty sure Fedari's nursing a rear slow flat, riding on the insert, trying to hold that front free.
He will ride that thing on the rim if he has to get on another podium here today. But Boischi is out front. Is Boischi going to open his elite wins account here today in Araxa? He's got Christopher Blevins to deal with. Blevins in second spot. It's about a bike and a half now as they head down towards the lake for the last time.
Avendetto 6 seconds behind. Be chasing hard, but it's Boischi, Blevins, Fedari.
Luke Moyer's still up in 5th place, the privateer. But here they go, Specialised, going bar to bar around the lake for the last time on the last lap of round 2 of the UCI World Cup. Christopher Blevins has closed that gap down to Adrien Boischi now. Fedari, if it is a slow puncture, he's bringing it back together. It looks like the bike's moving up and down on the back axle slightly too much, but Boischi, is he letting a bit of air into those lungs before the final sprint, or has Chris Blevins got this one covered off? Is Chris Blevins about to win the double? Is he about to do the short track and the cross-country Olympic? You can't take your eyes off this one. You cannot take your eyes off Adrien Boischi versus Chris Blevins as they head towards the line here in Araxa. It's gonna be Chris Blevins doing the double at round 2. Behind him, Martin Fedari gets second place. Adrien Boischi can't believe it. Mugged with a corner to go by his teammate. Specialised 1, 2, 3, just as they were last weekend. It's just different riders. Avendetto across the line in 4th. Behind him, Luke Moyer, the South African, checks out in 5th place. Korecki recovered the 6th, then Jordan Saru. Ollie, I'm done.
You see what it means to Luke Moyer as well. 5th position, 20 seconds down.
Boischi.
Wow, what a scrap.
Specialised factory racing, Fabio Puntner.
Man of the match, Funtner.
Player of the match for Fabio Puntner. 8th place for the privateer ahead of Geoffrey Kalel-Stap. Great ride from him. Lucas Schwarzbar back in the top 10. One of the best UCI cross-country World Cups we have ever been treated to, and it's been won by Chris Blevins. Chris Blevins takes the win. First time he's ever done the short track and cross-country Olympic double, and he's done so ahead of his 2 teammates, the young team Fedari and Boischi, as Galinski crosses the line in 12th for Brazil. And listen to the reception. Talk about another man who will never have to buy a coffee or a pint of beer around here. Ulan Galinski comfortably home inside the top 15. Great result for him. Christopher Blevins' lap time on that final lap, 7:45.4. All 3 of those Specialised riders, 7:45, 7:46, 7:47. The next fastest was an 8-minute. That's how deep they went. It was too deep for Victor Korecki today. He mentioned the end of the short track yesterday. He had been ill throughout the week. Specialised factory racing Well, Brazil was good to them last season. It's not a patch on 2025. Boashi, apologies if you heard any language there during his celebrations. Saying, I guess we're going to Leah, gang. I wonder what that is in reference to. And here you go. Blevins didn't wait to take it to the line. Just got going. Went from deep. Christopher Blevins. Job done in Araxa round 2. There's your podium. Vidari keen to find out if there was just a rear puncture or the back end lap bike did not look right. And that last descent down to the finish, he might just have muscled it round. What could have been for him if that was the case? We'll get an update on that for you just as soon as we can. Koretsky recovers, but it's his teammate Christopher Blevins from Specialized Factory Racing who took the win today. He's down there now with Ashley Wilmot.
Wow, what a race. Spectacular again from Specialized. Last week, you made your own little bit of history as a team. This week, you made your history, winning the short track and the cross-country Olympic today. Sum it up for us, because it was chaos out there today.
Yeah, I'm going to have to watch the replay. It was just all a blur. I love that kind of racing when, you know, everything's happening all at once and you have to just stay locked in. Once again, I mean, the team aspect, Adrian Boishi, when he passed me on that climb, I've never met a kid with more exuberance than him. You know, he's just brilliant. So I had to dig super deep to stay with him. Martin had a hell of a ride as well. So once again, it's just yeah, it's just a cool feeling doing it with the team. I don't know what else to say.
It also means you're the overall leader, so what does that mean to you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm taking it race by race. It's a long, long year. A lot can change. So just gotta, you know, do my process just the same as I would, you know, if it didn't go well this weekend. So stay focused on the next one. We got a little bit of a break until Nova Mesto, and I really want to perform in Europe. So that's my goal now.
Speaking of staying focused, how much did it go to plan in terms of the team strategy today? Because it looked like absolute chaos. Everyone was trying to compete with you lot out there.
Yeah, it is chaos. And I mean, we just were so locked in as a unit. I mean, there's something about the 4 red jerseys all at front. Our bike setup's amazing on this course. You know, I think the Epic 8 with the Reval and wheels, the World Cup wheels, and the new tires, like something's just kind of clicked in for us this year, and you can see that translate. Again, it's just those little margins that I feel like when we all push each other and motivate, it's like iron sharpens iron. It's hard to figure out exactly what to do with team tactics. Like, there was a moment Martin kind of attacked, and I was like, do I let him get a gap? But I knew Adrian and I was strong enough, so our best chance was maybe to just keep pushing and all go for it together. But yeah, I mean, you know, it's changing the way we race, having 4 red jerseys up front.
You are setting a new precedent, that is definitely for sure, and another 1, 2, 3 for Specialized.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, thank you to the whole staff, everyone in Specialized who worked so hard, you know, to put us here. And I mean, I just love doing this sport with the people that I'm around, you know, so let's keep it going.
Well done, congratulations.
Thank you.
Chris Blevins taking the overall points leader's jersey from his teammate Victor Koretsky and out sprinting his other teammate Adrian Boishi. Just look at the back wheel of that bike of Martin Vidari. He's trying to see if it is soft, but what a race in Araxa. Well, Martin Vidari will be next up in the interview so we can find out for ourselves. He's down there now with Ashley Wilmot.
Martin, I will try and let you catch your breath for a second because I don't know what just happened out there. You were 5th coming into the 8th lap with 2 laps to go. then it all kind of went a bit crazy. So talk us through those last 2 laps.
Yeah, maybe I had a chance in the 9th lap, 1 lap to go. Maybe I did a mistake there, but the boys were strong. Like, it's hard to play with 4 teammates on the front, so you don't know what to do. You don't know if I should help or not. It's very tactical. Like, I try also at the beginning to just keep the race moving, try not to rest too much, so we just go to the front. I just wanted to end to the last lap. At the end, like, Adrian had a very good kick, Christopher too. I was just this close to get him. But yeah, it's hard to race against teammates sometimes. But again, Team Specialized showing an amazing job. Like, the Epic 8 today was just amazing how fast we went on the downhills. So I'm so happy with the bike, my performance. But man, I was this close again, so yeah.
How tough is it when your main rivals are your teammates? I mean, I know you want to be respectful, but you want the glory, right?
It's tricky, man. Like, on top, we have some opportunities to maybe, should I go to the inside? Should I not? It's tricky, to be honest. I'm a respectful rider, I think. So we will see on the next one. But yeah, again, we had a close one today, so a bit sad to miss it. But yeah, it's hungry for more.
Do you think you're beatable? Because you seem to be the ones to beat right now.
Yeah, let's see. It's a long season. I also want to stay consistent. Like, it's not easy also for me. I have progressed a lot, so I just want to keep there. I have a good amount of training now, so I just want to keep on full gas racing.
What a way to start the season. Well done.
No, thanks a lot.
Martin Vidari, a respectful rider, he says. Celebrating with his mum. Down there at the finish. Brazilian fans enjoy that one, as they did all around the world. We're going to hear shortly from 3rd place, Adrian Boischet. He's trying to get him assembled back into one piece again. Let's head down to Specialized Factory Racing's Adrian Boischet right now.
Adrian Boischet, we all thought it was going to be your victory today, and I heard you just speak to Chris and you said, I nearly had that one. Talk us through it.
Yeah, I mean, it was a pretty eventful race for me. I started 2nd row and I slowly made my way up. I could feel I had good legs, but yeah, Filippo crashed in front of me on lap 5 or 6. And it was a pretty solid effort to come back from that. I was 2nd group, I jumped to the front group. And yeah, in the last lap, I went on the climb, which is where it suits me. And I had a small gap at the top, and I went all in. But yeah, Chris and Martin managed to follow me in the descent, and they had me in the sprint.
You mentioned the crash that you were caught up in then. How difficult is it to refocus and get yourself back on track?
Yeah, I mean, I could pretty much do nothing because I right in Filippo's wheel, and I just went over his bike and crashed on my knee again after crashing 2 weeks ago. So yeah, I just accepted it and dealt with the situation and tried to do the best job I could do to come back.
You still had enough in the tank for an explosive last lap. Where did that come from, and how much fun is it to be up against your teammates, some of the best?
Yeah, I could feel I had something for the last climb, and I just took my chance. The climb is where it suits me, and I tried to go. Unfortunately, I just did not have enough.
Hey, there's always the next round. Well done.
Yeah, thank you.
That may just be the tip of the iceberg in terms of performances that we see from that young man. Adrien Boissy, long feted as the real deal. Best we've seen of him so far in the elite category today. Here's the results then after a hectic 10 laps of Araxa. Christopher Blevins takes the win ahead of Vidari, Boissy, Avondetto, Moyer. Unbelievable ride from him. Koretsky, Saru, Puntener, Kalel, Stapp, Schwarzbar. Top 10 covered by 48 seconds. Specialized locking out the podium once again. Then it was Luca Braido, Galinski up in 12th, still celebrating down here with absolutely everyone. Brandl, Amos, Zanotti, Carstensen, List, Luca Martin, top 20 for him. Simon Andreasen outside the top 20 in 22nd. Filippo Colombo, not his day, in 23rd. Alex Malacarne in 30th. For Brazil, Lars Forster, again, not his day, 34th. We'll be hoping for a lot more than that. Cole Punchard, another debutant, 36th. As the crowd prepare for what will be a hectic Saturday night here in Araxa, I'm sure, but we can hear from one of the stars of the day. Luke Moyer is down there now.
Luke Moyer, 5th place. What a result, what a day.
No, I can't believe it. Like, I've been flipping training so hard for so many years, like coming nowhere in under 23, and then finally, like, the last 2 years I was building up, getting there, and then I put everything into like this winter or summer for us, and I flipping come fifth. Like, I'm so stoked. I can't thank everyone enough. Like, thank you so much.
Incredible moment, mate. Enjoy it. Top 5 at a World Cup. Amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, give Fabio.
Huge release of emotions from Luke Moyer. That is what that race meant. A rider found himself without a team last minute in the off-season, and he's just put that performance together today. Here's what it means for the standings though. Koretsky, 100 points now behind Blevins, top 4 spaces, all red, all specialized factory racing. Moyer 11th in the UCI World Cup overall. Zanotti in 17th, Alex Malacarne in 23rd, Andre Sink in 25th as we head to his home round next up. Novo Mesto Namarave. There is Alex Malacarne, his home round, done and dusted for another season. Yeah, it was fairly rowdy here last night after the short track, given that it's Saturday night and we've just been treated to a race for the ages.
No, don't do it. Don't do it. I'm gonna do it.
Go this side.
I think it might be even louder still. Adrien Boissy then. Third place today, having led virtually onto the very last corner of a grueling 10-lap race. But there is a lot more to come from that young man, as there is this one. Chilean national champion, this will be a big roar. The Vidari fan club, fairly focal bunch. They'll be front and centre at the afters. Get the feeling he might be in there with them as well. Second place today for Martin Vidari. Chilean flying high in Brazil. But there was no stopping the American. Used every inch of the track and every ounce of his own racecraft to get the job done today. Blevins, superb performance, had to deal with a lot of curveballs throughout it. I wonder if anybody's managed to get Fabio Pintner slowed down yet. Still out there probably circulating, getting another couple of laps in. But the win today goes to Christopher Blevins. First time in his career, he's doubled up the short track with the cross-country Olympic UCI World Cup wins. Specialized factory racing, do it again. Blevins, Vidari, Boischi, your top three here in Araxa. Celebrate with the champagne. Here is a replay then off that race winning move. Watch Blevins here. See ya. Gone. Vidari as well. Got the move done in that right-hander. Kept the head down and just emptied himself into those pedals. A third and a second. Next up, first place for Martin Vidari. Based on that today, you wouldn't like to bet against him. But as we saw today, winners can come from anywhere. Look at this lap comparison graphic. Where's Puntener? Second, third, fifth, and eighth fastest laps. And then look at those final laps from the Specialized top three. 7:45, 7:46, 7:47. Fastest off the race by a huge margin. And we're going to go all the way down to Matthias Flukiger for the fastest lap, 6 with an 8:06. Total domination from the team in red. The man in red is now Chris Blevins, getting that jersey of the overall points leader. He'll take that in the Novo Mesto Namarave in just over a month's time. Very, very different type of racing. The Czech Republic, always a classic. 100 points his lead, then ahead of Koretsky, 190 ahead of Vidari, and 292 ahead of Boischi. Specialized 1, 2, 3, 4 in the overall. Luke Moyer up into 11th, 376 points back, but ahead of Filippo Colombo. What a start to the season for him. Well, the good news is Josh Carlson has managed to get a hold of Fabio Puntener. Let's hear from the man himself.
We're here with Fabio Puntener, who just lit up the last end of that race. How did those last couple of laps feel with that big attack and the whole world chasing you?
It was the first time I was in this situation. I had a big gap after the first lap. So I knew I can ride the lap fast. So I tried to attack the last 2 laps and go with a gap into the uphill. But then my legs weren't that good that I could stay in front. But really happy with the result.
What was the emotions going through your head when you attacked off the front? Was it just adrenaline and I can do this, or oh my goodness, what am I doing?
Yeah, I did so much for this race here. I had a bit crazy winter. I lost my team and I broke my collarbone 8 weeks ago. And now I thought I have to do everything in this race. I pay a lot for this trip, and yeah, so I wanted to enjoy this race.
And you made it totally worth it. Well done. Thanks for the race.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Do you know what? Sometimes a bit of adversity pays dividends. Fabio Puntener came to Brazil off his own back to prove a point. I think it's fair to say he did exactly that. There they are, Specialized factory racing. The city's all theirs. Best overall team. Now miles ahead in that competition. Great to see all the staff up there. Also great to see a race winner giving it the double thumbs like Chris Blevins does. Next event up though, Bielsko-Biała. It's all downhill from there, the start of the gravity season on a modern classic. Stark Bike Park awaits the downhillers 16th to 18th of May. Do not miss that one. It has been breathless stuff here in Araxa. It's been one of the best ever, if not the best ever. We've enjoyed it. We hope you have too. From all of us here, thanks for watching.
Like it or not, the chase for greatness don't stop. The real always rise to the top. For the trophies and not for the props. We all we got. Like it or not, the chase for greatness don't stop. The real always rise to the top. For the trophies and not for the props. Yeah, we all we got.
And ladies and gentlemen, here is our celebratory photo for our U-Sky Cross Country World Cup Elite Men's Race here in Araxa. In fifth place from South Africa, it is Luke